Hi everyone, Nikki Geiger here, and we're in Boston. I'm standing in front of the Jason Russel House Museum, which is part of the Arlington Historical Society now. Back in 1875, this place was known as Menotomy, and this is the doorstep. Let me show you right here that except it wasn't concrete at the time, my 8th generation grandfather was murdered by the British with 11 bayonet stabs in his back, and he was trying to fend off the British, and this was the bloodiest battle prior to the Revolutionary War. If you've heard of the shot heard round the world, someone in Lexington, their gun went off and nobody knows whether it was from the freedom fighters or from the British soldiers. Anyway, everybody started running back to Menotomy, which is where this is. This is part of the house. Or the start of the battle really ended here for that day in April 19th, 1775, and Bunko Freedom Trail. That great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Jason and died, and half on monument are relatives. That quite a shock. This has been added on recently. I've seen this before, but this is kind of all new. And then here, if I can figure out how to place my phone, right, it says Jason Russel House built by Martha, widow of William Russel, about 1680. So you can tell that this is very, very colonial home, and so all back in Boston just to retrace our family history. So anyway, bye for now, and I'll talk to you later. Hi everyone. Okay, here in front of the monument in Lexington. 8 men were killed right after the shot was heard around the world. And so there's the details of the battle. So I got that before. Anyway, let's do some more things. Bye. Hi everyone. Nikki Geiger here, and actually in Menotomy, Massachusetts, now called Arlington, just outside Boston. And we are here to see the monument that was raised to my 8th generation grandfather. You'll see Jason Russell, Jason Winship, and Jabez Wyman. Jason's wife was Elizabeth Winship. So anyway, we are here to just show other family members and everyone else what fascinating we all have in the beginning of the United States. Do you know that this is the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War? Began on April 19th, 1775, when the shot was heard around the world, and the British were going from Lexington, trying to all of the freedom fighters along the way, and my 8th generation grandfather Jason Russell had his home right along the road, and he was fending the British off while 11 members came into the basement. And when Jason Russell was killed on his doorstep and bayoneted 11 times, the British came into the house and basically just slaughtered all 8 of them. So when Jason's wife Elizabeth came home, she was taken over to another home to wait out whole of that situation. They were trying to take all of the weapons away from the patriots who had gathered munitions and things like that were actually stored in Concord. So anyway, that is the beginning of the Revolutionary War, and next year we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country, July 4th, 1776. So there's going to be lots of celebrations, so get ready for that. And we will I'll show you a few other things in a bit. Talk to you later. Bye. Right now, I'm in front of the Paul Revere house, who was famous for notifying all of the different colonists that the British were coming and they wanted to take away all of the freedom fighters' guns. They had a huge cache of guns in Lexington and Concord, and they were on their way. So it was Paul Revere's responsibility to find out whether the British were coming by land or by sea. And they decided that they found out that the British were coming by land. So Paul Revere and Dawes was the other guy's name, John Dawes, I believe, that rode out to notify all of the different colonists along the road to both Lexington and Concord. And Paul Revere was a medalist. He made bells, and he was also responsible for making a bunch of counterfeit money for the colonists because the British kind of cut back everything for them. They also made small cannons that were about 24 inches long and could be carried by 2 people. So that's a little bit about Paul Revere. He had 16 children and 2 wives. His first wife died 5 months after the last one was born, and so he married again and had 8 more children. So, very busy person, very involved in the shaping of our country, and went on to do lots of incredible things. So that's that for this part of the Freedom Trail. This is part of what you'll see along the Freedom Trail. And we're going to go and see a few more things. So I'll catch you later. Bye. Hi everyone, here we are in front of the Bunker Hill Monument, and this Colonel Prescott here, who was instrumental in a major fight between the colonists and the British, but the actual fighting occurred on Breed's Hill, not Bunker Hill. Even though most people think that the fighting took place on this whole knoll here, which happens to be the highest point in this area of Charleston, Massachusetts, which is just about 2 miles from Boston and across the river, the Charles River, from here. So anyway, we'll take you on another little tour down the Freedom Trail to a park where hopefully we'll find the monument that has my family's name on it. So that's all for right now. Bye. Hi everyone, here I am in front of the USS Constitution, which at one time was called Old Ironsides, in the Battle of 1812. When the British tried to take over our country again. And in one of the wars, a cannonball bounced right off of the side of the ship, which was supposed to be a devastating blow. And the cannonball just bounced off. So after that, it was called Old Ironsides. But this is the USS Constitution from the 1700s. So just my little trip to Boston, and I'll show you some more in a little bit later. Thanks. Bye. I am right in front of the old Union Oyster House, established in 1826, which is the oldest continuously operating restaurant in the colonies and, well, in the United States, since we were established in 1776. So this is where we are having dinner tonight. So now that you know all of that about the old oyster house, let's go in and have some dinner. See you then.